viewers, hello and welcome to Preface, a special series of interviews dedicated to the 28th edition of the International Book Fair of Algiers, SILA 2025, which is under the slogan, The Book, a Crossroads of Cultures. Today, we're meeting two inspiring young Algerian authors whose works are redefining how the new generation expresses identity, emotion, and creativity. So welcome Noor Al-Huda Karnani, author of Chronicles of a Kingfisher, and Hajar Farhatia, author of A Teenager Against the Grain. You ladies have chosen to write and dream in English. Today we will talk about that choice, your creative process, and what it means to be part of this emerging literary movement. We start, so you both published your first works at such a young age. So Noor, you're 23, and Hajar, you are 18. So what moment or experience made you say, I want to start this story and I want to write it?
Thank you so much for having me here today. It's such an honor. The story about how I came to write Kingfisher is actually very sweet. I was out with a friend. We were at the Hippon Museum, and I have been feeling very stagnant in my life. And when I went out, when I met with my friend, when I saw the ruins, the Roman ruins there, I felt something move. So I sat down, I wrote down like a few of my ideas. And when I went back home and I reread them, and I have been like flipping through my diary, I felt that writing has always helped me move through that stagnation. So I have decided to compile a journey of a character through her diary entries and whatever happens to her through the story, so I could hopefully help other people move in their own lives.
Thank you. What about you, Hajar? What was the spark that led you start writing?
First, thank you so much for having me today. It's such an honor. My story begins at the age of 14, 15, around that age. I use it to write my diaries, and I use it to write not only what happens around my day or what happens, situations that happen to me as a teenager, but also I wrote what I understood from each situation, like my points of view. Writing developed over the time, and it has always been like an escape from me from the world where I can be myself, especially in the period of after COVID-19. I had like this deep connection with myself, and I was alone with myself, so I only wrote each day. And by that time, when I decided that I wanted to publish the book, I wanted like the world to see what I write. I wanted them to see my ideas. I wanted them to feel what I felt, and also get the lessons that I got from thinking differently than other teenagers. And I chose English because I wanted the whole world to see what I wrote and what I saw.
Indeed, inspiring. So was there like a particular feeling or scene or a moment that sparked the first cover or the first page of your book?
It's kind of a continuation of the story of the Hippon. For the people who know, Hippon is such a magical place because you feel like it's the modern world meeting the old world. When I was there, I had remembered a friendship, a very close friend that I used to have, and that we did not talk anymore. And there was kind of an atmosphere to it that Hippon like mirrored back to me, because it was a place that people have lived in and people have long died, and the city has long been gone, much like the friendship that I had. So it was Kingfisher is a story about going back. It's about discovering and uncovering things that has happened before, decoding them and getting the best lessons out of them as you move forward in life.
Indeed. What about you, Hajar? What's your cover story?
Well, my cover story is something really special because I kind of identify as the girl in the cover that saw things differently and wanted also to show other teenagers in her age how to see the world from a different corner. And also this cover shows how people move in very different ways. and maybe looking back from another window can really change something about our life and our mindset more particularly.
Indeed. What? Let's go back to you, Noor. You write in the language of Shakespeare, English. This language is still growing within Algeria's literary field. Why English? What drew you to it as your creative voice?
Most of the art that I love so much, from James Baldwin, Sylvia Plath, even the music I listen to, it's mostly in English. And I have found a community of friends all around the world. And the thing that brings us together is the English language. It's our language of communication. It is the language of the art we consume and the media we consume every day. So it felt only normal to express in the same language that nurtured me in so many ways, so to speak. So when I started writing, I write in my own diaries in English because I often tell people I think inside my head in English. So it was such a natural way for me to just speak my mind and put my thoughts exactly like how they are on the page without having to translate my thoughts.
How did you master the language itself?
I had a very, very kind teacher in middle school. Zwiyad, was her name. She made me fall in love with the language, and she encouraged me so much in my life. And now, and I've only came to love English more the more I have discovered it, because it's such a versatile language. When you read books in English, any amount of books, you can never find two books that are the same. Even if they are in the same language, the language changes. It's such a fluid language, so to speak, because you can find so much slang. When you pick up a book from any point in time, it's never the same. And our English right now in the world, it's not like Shakespeare's language, like you said. It's such an ever-growing language. It's evergreen. It keeps moving with the world and the people. So depending on where you speak English or when you speak English, the language changes with you. So I found that very beautiful.
Yes, you wanted to express that your own way. What about you, Hajar? You said earlier you wrote in English because you wanted the world to know about your story and to read it. So how does this language make you express yourself differently from other languages?
We all know that English is spoken worldwide, and I have a lot of native like Americans and English friends, so they're really close to me. So when I wanted like to show them my ideas and my work, the only way was just to show them in English, because it's a way, and because I love that language, and I started learning at a very young age, the age of 9, and it's like
Tell us your journey. What do you mean by you started at the age of 9? Did you start in another school, foreign school? How did you do that?
Well, at the age of 9, I started studying in a language school, and this school kind of made us engage with a lot of native speakers, a lot of Americans. So we got this confidence of speaking in front of people, writing and showing our work. So over time, you don't only get the language, but also the confidence, the relationships, and that's what really made me fall in love with the language.
Indeed, yes. Let's go back to your book, Noor, Chronicles of a Kingfisher. Yes. Your protagonist is a young artist searching for a meaning in a complex world. In what way does this character reflect a part of who you are?
I created Robin in a very turbulent time of my life. She was a way I could navigate my feelings without putting myself directly in the face of the fire. So she was kind of my floating device. I used her to get out of a very specific part of life. A lot of people will tell you being 19 is such a weird time, because you still have one foot in childhood, another foot in adulthood. Everyone treats you like a child but expects you to be an adult. It's such a paradoxical age. So Robin was me dealing with the frustrations at the time and the fear of growing up, but also the way that she grew up. I do not relate to Robin and everything. A lot of it is very fictional, but the heart is the same. And I just felt like our worlds were so different from hers. I mean, I'm not an artist in 70s New York, but the feeling of being a young adult that's scared of the world around is a very universal feeling, and I have found it in every single person all around the globe.
Indeed. So, Hajar, I think you have some similarities with the Chronicles of a Kingfisher. Your book invites us into the mind of a teenager who dares to think differently than, thus the title, A Teenager Against the Grain. How close is your protagonist to who you are or who you once were? And please, could you name the character in your story?
First of all, the character in my book is me, Hajar. It's the author, it's me, because I share real stories from my life. And I remember back then, there used to be silly stories, for example, being bullied and all these stuff. So I believe that the old Hajar of me is like, it's still there, even though I've developed a lot over the years. I became someone better, but I still feel like she's inside me. She's like, my inner child is still the same. It's just developing and growing over time.
Yes. Noor, writing can liberate, but it can also challenge. So what was the most difficult part for you, like beginning, continuing, and finishing the story itself?
Writing has proved to be very challenging. I have wrote Kingfisher through 3 years. It was not. It was a very long process of writing, and throughout I had to improve my English to meet the character at where she is. I had to do a lot of research about the world that she lives in. So I guess the hardest part for me was marrying my ideas to the plot, because I felt it's a very literary when you read it. It's I forgot the term. It's very literary in the way that it's read. It reads through her diaries, but there's also an underlying story and mystery about the forgery of an Edward Hopper painting. And the theme is authenticity and versus deceit and fraud. And I had to make sure that the plot and the inner journey of Robin are mirrored back to each other. Also the language. English, as I said, it could be a very easy, versatile language, but I had to improve so much from like a vocabulary point of view or from a grammar, and I had to learn a lot of American slang, so it would communicate slang of the time, because we don't use the same slang as people used to do in the 70s.
Yes.
So that's it.
What obstacles have you faced within the publishing itself, the publishing process?
I would not call them obstacles. They were more like challenges. This book is very different to a lot of books that are published right now because it is illustrated. There are illustrations, a lot of in-world artifact. The cover, it's all, I made it myself. I am a writer, I am an illustrator, and I am also a graphic designer. Mm-hmm. So this book, front to back, it was me. The challenges that came are like people misunderstanding or not understanding the point of the art in the story. A lot of people said, oh, you don't have to do the pictures, you don't have to do the art, you don't have to design the cover. Mm-hmm. But for this specific story to be complete, you had to look through Robin's diaries and Robin's art, because she is an artist and you cannot really comprehend an artist completely without seeing their art. So that is the most obstacle that I faced. I had pretty much a smooth journey except for the printing process with the illustrations.
Thank you. Hajar, what obstacles did you encounter in your writing journey, and how were you able to overcome them?
I believe that I did not really have that much of obstacles during my journey because of the positive feedbacks that I got from readers. So people found the language simple and Also, even the size of the book, it was made small to be like a reminder, like a guide for them. So whenever, for example, they want a reminder of something, they just get back to read a chapter or two. So we could say that 90% of like the feedbacks were positive, except that there are also people who do not really like relate to the book. For example, I remember that once a reader told me that teenage years does not exist, and that this period does not exist. We only have childhood and adulthood. But, you know, there are always going to be different opinions. Yeah.
There is also the time in between. What can you tell us about the colors that you chose for your cover page?
The cover, I think that the cover is really attractive. It really attracted a lot of readers. And the colors, I think they're pretty bright. And yeah, I think because I love blue and yellow.
I see blue and I see yellow and an orange hair.
Yeah.
So what do they represent?
Well, the girl is supposed to represent me, but I did not like make her like identically, you know, physically looking like me. But it just has to be a girl. So whenever reads, he would absolutely know who's the girl, who's the main character in the book. Yeah.
Thank you. Noor, could you describe that moment, like the first time you held the book in your hands? What did it feel like when your dream has finally become real, or has finally become real?
It was so surreal. I have spent so much time writing the book. Having it inside, actually in my hands, was so magical. It feels truly like I'm finally... I can't even find the words. It's so...
Came true.
The dream came true. All the efforts have finally gave me something back, because writing is a very thankless job. You just write and write and write, and you edit and edit and edit, and it's so hard, but it's so rewarding to finally have it come real and for people to see it and to be able to share it with everyone.
And how did your family or your friends, were there or was there any feedback that helped you so far?
I had the most supportive family and friends that anyone could ever dream of. My family is actually here with me. They all came here to SILA with me. My friends have quite literally bullied me into publishing the book because they said, maybe it's not worth publishing. Maybe no one needs to see this. No one wants to see this. But at the end of the day, I'm so happy that they did that, because this book would not really exist without the help of my family. I have taken a gap year from mid-school so I could write, because I could focus on the book, because it was so important to me that I would finish it. And I would not have been able to do that with the support of without the support of my family. And without the support of my friends. Everyone invested in me, and I truly cannot thank them enough.
So it was a process and a product.
It was.
Thank you. What about you, Hajar? Could you describe the moment you first saw or held your book in your hands?
The first time I held my book, it was magical. I just felt like the dream just came true. I could see my ideas printed in front of me. But I think what really made me feel like more magical, it's when I got feedbacks from people saying that my book changed a lot about their mindset, and that whenever they want like some perspective, they go back to it. It helped them a lot overcoming their problems and their overwhelmness, especially on this sensitive period of their life. And I think it changes someone's life through a sentence or just one chapter, just automatically makes me feel better as a person and as an author.
What about your family and your friend? How did they feel when you showed them the book for the first time?
They felt the pride, they felt the happiness, they could not believe it, and I remember they really advertised it everywhere. And not only the family and the friends, everyone supportive and happy, and really wished me a very good luck in my career.
Thank you. Ladies, you both come from Annaba. That's the east of Algeria. How has your hometown shaped the way you see the world and also the way you write and create?
Annaba is truly one of the most beautiful cities in the world. And I'm not saying this just because I'm from Annaba. I just really love it so much. There is such a diversity in the infrastructure, I guess.
Infrastructure,
Yeah, culture. There's so many types of people. There are so many different places you could go. You could go to the beach, you could go to the mountains, you could go to fields. There are just so many places that one can go, and they're all different, and you get something different from each and every one of them. The nature in Annaba really influenced me so much. I am my type of writing, I guess you could call it, is one that's related to nature. It's romantic, much like Jabran Khalil Jabran. I always cite him as my inspiration for a lot of my writing. I have read the Jabran Khalil Jabran since I was a little child. So I have the nature in Annaba makes me write better because there's always a new light you could see the world through, you know.
Yes, thank you. What about you, Hadar? How does Annaba help you or show you your creation and your emotions?
Well, first of all, Annaba is such a big city, and there is a lot of chaos, there's a lot of people, a lot of mindset, a lot of point of views. So seeing teenagers with a lot of different point of views and made me think of myself that writing about life lessons and my point of view, like seeing them, let's say, as a typical image of teenagers would be a great idea because I mean, especially now that teenagers probably do not really interest a lot in books, but even though I still held to my idea.
Indeed, so many people watching today, they dream of writing, but they hesitate, especially in English. So what is one sincere piece of advice you would give to these people who want to write, but they doubt themselves?
I always think about a lot of writers who we only got to see the writing after they passed, sadly, and it is always celebrated and beautiful. Never hesitate to put your art out there because there will always be at least one person who's gonna read your words and they're gonna resonate. It's really never about... It's not about fame or money. Writing does not get you any of these.
Sharing your knowledge.
Yeah,
and
it's
your
about
creations.
art has been always the way that people relate to each other. We could all listen to a song or read a book together, and we get this sense of community and understanding through it. I always say that I feel connected to people despite time. People like, I said, James Baldwin, because his writing is so emotive and evocative. When I read it, I feel connected to him, despite that we have never met. We have lived under very different circumstances. And yet, your words will inevitably reach the people who need it. That's just how art works.
Thank
Do
you.
it.
What about you, Hadar? What's your advice?
My advice is that just the fact that we think about that one day someone from any place in the world would just go to the library and pick your book and read it and feel understood. They feel like you guys don't know each other, you guys are strangers, but there is something in common. It's art, it's knowledge, it's the ideas. So thinking about it would make you push to publish your work to the world and have that confidence and that to be bold.
Don't doubt yourself.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Thank you. Last question to end our interview today. So, if you had to describe your journey, what would you say?
It was hard but highly rewarding. It was very magical too. It was truly an experience of transformation and growth that I had never gone under anything like it in my entire life.
Thank you. What about you, Hadar? How would you describe your journey?
I would say it was life-changing. It was like a period of, like Noor said, a growth. And I would say that it did not only change me, but also changed other people, which is something incredible, I would say.
Thank you. So thank you, Noor and Hadar, for sharing your story with us today. And thank you, dear viewers, for being with us today. Stay tuned for more inspiring encounters here on Preface at SILA 2025. Until next time.